Yes.
Easy going right there. Looking at him. One more to go.
Yes.
I had to get rid of him.
He was being toxic.
Every time he does this every day, man.
Why are you unbanning him?
I don't know, bro. Man.
Go. One more to go.
Welcome, everybody, to the Onward VR Master League Season 12, Week 10. My name is NightFiree with 2 E's. I will be your sole conductor in today's journey through the high tiers of Onward. The Master level, where we get to see 2 teams very experienced in the VRML duke it out. Ember versus Peacekeepers, ranked 9 worldwide versus ranked 7 worldwide. Ranked 5th NA West versus ranked 3 NA West, I believe, if I have my data correct and if those things haven't shifted in the last 20 minutes. But 2 teams at the top of their game, so to speak, as we are deep into the regular season, and we can expect good things out of this matchup here today. Embers versus Peacekeepers. When I look at the stats, it's a matchup that has a bit of history. One as long as Peacekeepers have been around. Starting in Season 9, at the origin of the Peacekeepers team, they have faced off against Ember 4 times, once each season, and they've won 3 out of the 4. Only losing in Season 11. They've actually already faced off in Season 12 earlier in October. Losing, Peacekeepers winning 12-1 against Ember on that series. And so Ember have to be a little bit concerned here. You know, they're a team that is at the cusp of breaking into the top 8, top 7 worldwide. And that is important. At the end of the season, not finalized on the format entirely, but at the end of the season, we take the top teams from our regular season ladder, and they go off and duke it out in a tournament that determines who is our Season 12 champion. That means that they come away with what is a 7,000 plus in cash and hardware prize pool, hopefully growing as we look to add more sponsors on throughout the season. There still is 5 weeks left of regular season matchups. There's a lot on the line, you know, and because there's only 5 weeks, they have a limited amount of games, a limited amount of opportunities to go up and down in this ladder. Peacekeepers, a chance here to really push themselves up, potentially into rank 6, rank 5, a bit more of a comfortable position in the overall ladder in the back half of Season 12. Allows them to play maybe a bit more confident, execute on plays that they may not go for otherwise because they can afford a loss. It gives them flexibility on their options going into the back half of the season, which is important. And like I said, Ember right there, so close to starting to work their way up into that top 8, that top 7, potentially. Anyway, as we wait for the lobbies to populate, we can take a look at the pick bans, who is playing what. Those that maybe don't know Onward, in the Onward VRML, we have a home and away team. Home team gets to ban first. Away team bans second. Home team is Ember. They are banning Hook. Peacekeepers is away. They are banning Paradise. And it leaves us with a relatively familiar map pool. Maps that have been around in the league for a while and that these teams have played for a while. The only custom map there that is available is Arctic, and that certainly could be a wild ride if we do decide to go to that frozen tundra. But we first have to look forward to our first map here, which is not going to be Arctic and is going to be Suburbia. So we are staying to the theme of close quarters. You know, Arctic also a very close quarters map, but obviously a little less chilly here in the fine suburban streets. This is Ember's map pick. I'm going to do a little sleuthing here, which I am. We'll see that Ember's overall stats on Suburbia are 2-2 this season. 100% win rate. I haven't lost a single... no, that's on Bazaar. I've only lost 3 rounds out of 11 played. 73% round win rate. Pretty dang impressive. I don't see a single Arctic round on their history here. At Peacekeepers, however, I do see 2 Arctic rounds played. 100% win rate, 62% rounds win. I think we're going to Arctic for round 2. I really do. I think that's where we're going to head. Either that or Cargo. But Quarantine also a potential one. Tanker is in the rotation currently, so they could go there as well. A lot of options, but mostly close quarters. Downfall is there, and like I said, Quarantine, but I think these teams are going to gravitate towards a little bit of the closer range negotiations. And we do have everyone in lobby now and players getting ready to hop into the action. Over on Ember, we have Hailfire, Milkman, Neil Breen, a.k.a. Shrieking Geek, formerly known as Switch 2.0, Rob88, and over on Peacekeepers, we have Destroyer141, Rushers, Squirfy, Diesel, and Virus. The usual suspects on both sides. We'll have to see how round 1 shakes out as we get into the action. Ember on the attack, Peacekeepers on defense, as they are the away team. They get to choose side. They are going to kick it off on defense. And it is going to be a tank objective, and Rushers is going to start it off with an early kill. A nice start there. Hailfire was dumping out some rounds, but no connection there. Squirfy finds Rob inside center house, and so the initial push up gets shut down. Hailfire on the backside, rotating around the north, and this is the Ember attack essentially stalled right out of their spawn. Neil gonna be trying to work up here.
No eyes, second floor center house.
Push towards the attack onto Squirfy, Destroyer, and Diesel. But really, they don't have any info on anyone's defensive position right now since they lost their 2-point attackers. And there's an interestingly stacked middle house defense here. Oftentimes, players, their teams will at least invest 1 defender inside middle house because you need to cover that side of the tank. We do see 1 or 2 invested here. Rushers on a deep angle, just putting out some suppressive fire periodically. Focus would be from Ember on this side. Squirfy takes some suppressive fire, and wow, look at that. As soon as that suppressive fire came in, Destroyer tried to peek and look for the kill, and Neil was there waiting. Great teamwork to really draw that out. Squirfy is still alive and well, though, and here comes a nade. It's a flash up and over. Milkman gets caught. Squirfy's going to apply aggression I don't think Neil is flashed. Oh, and Scorpy does find Hailfire.
22.
They continue to push up. Milkman able to shut them down. Neil Breen saved on the corner, and we're into a 2v3. The res no longer available. Diesel finds the confirm. And Peacekeepers still have eyes on all angles of the objective. What the path is here. Pushing up through the center is going to run them into both Virus and Rushers. And again, they do have Diesel with eyes onto this side of the tank.
Whatever.
And Neil seems to be aware that there could be at least one in there. Milkman really not doing much as Neil goes for this big push up across this APC side. Not far from that objective. Rusher's starting to take a gander over here as smokes come in. Diesel tries to go up the stairs. Down they go. Neil's position given away. Rushers tries to catch Neil, and Neil takes one in the shoulder. Ducks down as Rushers looks for the shots over the top. Virus also putting rounds through the wood. Neil has the comfort of these concrete blocks as Milkman confirms Diesel's body there. No more radio. We're into a 2v2. The trade there between Rushers leaves it all up to Virus alone in a 1v1. Milkman up in that second floor looking down onto the defensive side. And Virus now has to make sure nobody's catching as they come flying out. Milkman catches the kill. Ember take round one as it comes down to a 1v1, but albeit pretty quickly. AD's there. Shout out to all you fine folk that are tuning in here this afternoon and catching the action. We appreciate you stopping by and hanging out. Spread the word that you're watching some good, high quality Onward action, whether it's on Twitter, wherever you want to promote, Twitch, Facebook, however you want to blast your friends. Tell them that you are out here watching some good quality VR esports. Go ahead and hit the retweet on the old VRML go live message. Something that you can be notified in if you do follow the Onward underscore VRML on Twitter. They always put out live tweets when streams are going live on what channels, who's casting, what teams. And if your team has a social media account, we also like to promote that. And so be sure, if you do have a team social media, that you go and follow Onward underscore VRML on Twitter with that social media. We'll give you a follow back, and we'll help promote things that you're running within your community. Back into the action for round number 2 of map 1. PK on the attack as Ember go over to defend. We'll have to see what we get. And if we're going to keep up this pace of about a 3-minute round, I imagine PK are going to go for a similarly paced push. If not a little bit faster, as we do see a pretty quick rollout up through the center here from these three.
I don't think it's necessary, but yeah.
One there. Switch took a very early peek to catch them out by surprise, but now Scorpion and Destroyer not really allowing Switch to recheck the angle.
Was a kill earlier, so we're at Echo 1. If that's
and Diesel waiting on the other side for the timing of this push-up. Smokes are coming in up through the center, and Destroyer is working their way up in at least the backyard of middle house. Switch dumping out flashes. Rob watching from the 2-story. A very good coverage here of this doorway. Not going to be an easy entry for Destroyer. Oh, but here comes the support from the other side, and Squirfy is able to catch out Switch. Destroyer draws the distraction. Rob still holding a very nice angle here and is waiting. But they've actually dropped off and are now holding the stairs, feeling not so confident looking down that long angle. Destroyer tries to nade up, but that doesn't quite go where they were hoping.
Second 4 mid house, be careful.
And we gotta keep our eyes split as Rushers does slowly work their way here around towards Milkman's corner.
No.
Tucked in position, and Milkman actually comes flying out a little bit. Oh, just on time. Right as the nade came in, Milkman comes in. Diesel not aware that there's an enemy threat rotating in around their side. They go down, a double kill for Milkman. Rob finds one coming up through the stairs. Peacekeepers dropping fast as Destroyer suddenly is alone.
I killed one. Delta 3.
A 1v4. They completely drop off middle building. Go all the way back to spawn. A long rotation here, trying to reset, reassess, and see what Destroyer can do in this 1v4. They've got 3.5 minutes left, so a lot of time. I think this rotation isn't a bad one, though. Rob still is in a good holding position. Milkman here, very exposed. Especially to this flank. Destroyer's going to kick it off. Catches one, drops off that corner. And the right play to make. 240 left. They can do this long rotation all the way back around and just kind of keep ping-ponging from one side of the map to the other because the map's so small and they have enough time to do this sort of back and forth rotation. Trouble is if Rob hears anything up the middle, so Destroyer can't really push up through there, and Hailfire is over on APC's side and they're tucked in pretty deep, so it's going to be potential trade, which would be perfectly fine for Ember. Hellfire is certainly going to hear these footsteps. No checking into that deep corner. Hail, a bit of an off-meta position there. No gun spotted. Oh, Destroyer did see that tiny movement from Hailfire. And now Hailfire is in a bit of a jam. They go down. That's two. An unfortunate tiny step there from Hailfire, and Ember is just getting picked off. Destroyer whittling down this defense as again they bounce from one side of the map to the next. Seems like they did need a heal after that fight. I wonder if there is a cap potential here. If Destroyer can swing around and tag Neil, they have control on the other side. Rob, oh, perfectly adjusting and a great angle there. A nice read. Maybe he heard the prone, not sure, but
Blind spot, good shit.
a very good timing there. And Neil recognizing that as potential blind spot. And Ember coming out with a, albeit very close, defensive round two. A round two nonetheless. Nice try there from Destroyer as well. 3-2 on the round. Did their best to try and claw that one back, but at the end of the day, 1v4, a pretty tall order on a map of any anywhere. But Suburbia definitely one that they could have worked it out, so. A good effort. Now Ember in a comfortable position. Up 2-0. Next objective takes us to Playground. I have to wonder if there is going to be a cap attempt here on an objective like Playground. I don't actually think I've seen it capped yet, at least in League play, in a broadcast that I've done. I'm sure someone will say in chat that they've seen it happen, but haven't seen it on my end, and I think it's because it's just such a wild objective, especially depending on your spawn. Just out the gate, we're gonna see action right away. And, well, we don't have to wait long. These teams are ready for the action.
Who's going short middle?
Round number 3 kicking off here.
Actually,
Ember with a 2-0 lead, looking to potentially push this up, but they do have a long spawn with this objective, so they're not going to be subject to much of the pre-fire. As I say that, Rob nearly goes down. And a very heavy rollout here. Rushers does catch Switch. Switch trying to peek on the virus there. Suppressive fire is done for now. Orphe's there. Milkman, Neil Breen working their way up through the center underneath all of that suppressive fire that was thrown out. And it's actually kind of a bit of a slower approach because, again, of their spawn. And they actually do shift over into a side that you can spawn in. That's why there was all that pre-fire. They end up not. Oh, there goes Rob. Virus able to catch that out. Full control now of this south street. More suppressive rounds up through the center. Counter nades as well to deter what could be a early push, but again, nothing coming through. And Peacekeepers with 5 alive are looking good on their defensive round. And on this rotation doesn't ID Diesel. Suppressive fire.
One deep lane 4 on the street.
That canted iron sight on there from Neil. I don't think I've seen much of that. Murphy here in this tight corner. Gonna have a quick peek. Down goes Neil.
51.
Last one should be
AKA
B2.
formerly known
He's
as
putting around here
Shrieking
for a while.
Creek. And now Hellfire is alone in a 1v5. Not going to be an easy task here. PK definitely have a solid hold. A lot of their pre-fire working out well for them to kick off the round. And Diesel still on that tight corner. It's going to be tough for Hellfire to work up through. Down they go. PK. Put one on the board. Avoid that shutout on map number 1 and give Ember a little something to think about. A great way to put a pause in that momentum. Completely deny a single kill on that defensive round. And yeah, I mean, this objective I have rarely seen gone Marsuck. Well, maybe Out of fast spawn, I feel like I've seen it go more Marsoc's favor than anything. And by fast spawn, I mean the, I suppose, west spawn. I had to do a quick never eat soggy waffles in my head there. A west spawn. And I still feel like it does go more to the bulk than anything. Because, again, right out of spawn, you just dump rounds through a ton of penetrable pieces of cover. The wood walls, you get great lines down. You just get these really powerful LMG lines right down onto spawn points and major crossing points. And it makes it very hard to time your initial rollout. PK do get the fast spawn, and so I do wonder where they're going to be swinging out here to start this thing off, because even here,
probably should.
you're vulnerable to a lot of suppressive fire out the
bullets
gate.
don't stop for you, alright?
Far side.
Stay behind Scorpy. Yeah.
Good smokes, allowing rushers to advance forward. A couple of flashes. Rushers able to catch the first one. They continue to work their way forward. A smoke comes out over the top towards objective. This is a good setup from PK.
One Scorpy spawn.
Around this objective side. Neil goes down as Rushers swings on the deep angle switch. Looking over the top, they have a lot to worry about. Short, long, tight. 3 players attacking here onto Switch's angle, and Diesel is actually swinging around here to catch Switch on the backside. A great over-the-top support from Milkman, and a swing from Hailfire on the corner. A quick 1-2. PK down to 3. Ember still have 2 left alive, and now the trio is, I wouldn't say trapped, but they are stuck in the 2-story house.
All right, 32.
And I actually still think it's a 3v2. But Milkman is alone in this defensive effort. They could absolutely cap under the smoke. Milkman doesn't have an LMG. Don't have a ton of clips to dump rounds into. Virus could also potentially find this kill if they swing wide here. But another smoke onto Milkman, and Milkman's going for a very long rotation. Virus does tag them once, and Destroyer should pop up in no time here. There's a C4 over the top. Destroyer does swing onto the corner, though, and yeah, that was a big C4 detonation. Scorpy did go down, but PK with a fantastic offensive round tie this up 2-2 very quickly. That is an impressive attack there. Definitely, they got the playground objective figured out. A great defensive hold with no one dying, and then 3 left alive on the attack, and a very solid planned play on that swing. And they didn't really care about giving away their spawn position, you know? It's oftentimes you don't... I've seen that played differently in that you just kind of sit and wait for the enemy team to suppress and dump rounds around you. But the aggression counters aggression, I suppose. And PK are doing a great job of bouncing back in this series. Important to remember that they have won 3 out of the 4 matches they've played, and they did recently beat Ember. Well, not recently, but they beat Ember in October 12-1. And so for this to even start with Ember being up 2-0 is a great kick. It was a great kickoff for Ember, but Peacekeepers, yeah, they did not let that go on for too much longer. And obviously, as we change objectives, it seems to me that we are sort of changing hands in terms of which team is more capable on which objective. So now we get to see, are we going to trade bulk rounds? Are Ember going to come out with 2? Are PK going to swing away with this map on this objective? Or are we headed for round 7? Who knows? Round number 5 kicking off here as we get back into it.
They actually rushed the first round, too.
Nothing west, nothing east.
mid house.
Ooh, and that's actually a pretty good smoke. Gonna deny Diesel any vision
From lane 1 as well.
from that outside window. So they are gonna work their way up here. More smoke coming in. Really making sure Diesel will not be watching from that outside angle. The trouble is coming out of the smoke through the doorway. Diesel here does have coverage, but they can't afford to really go anywhere else. They have to sit on this tight angle. They'll be vulnerable through windows if they do push up too far. Man, able to find one across. Rob does get inside for a brief moment. Diesel able to catch them as they try and exit out of the smoke. We're into a 4v4.
Diesel, did you get mid house?
Four center house, he's there.
Oh, a great
Great,
nade
three.
coming in. Neil able to dodge that. Destroyer almost catches it. A trade up through that back doorway as Diesel and Switch exchange rounds, and the 3v3 continues. Neil tries to cross out. Rushers and Virus have great coverage from that two-story. Hellfire and Milkman still trying to get control of this middle building. Virus trying to rotate out. Nearly gets caught out. Nearly turns into a 2-2 here. Destroyer able to catch out. Milkman pushing up, and now Hellfire alone in a 1v3. A very fast round 5. We've seen this before, just from the likes of Destroyer on Peacekeepers, but shifting sides, trying to throw off the defense, disrupt their information, you know, make sure that they do not have an accurate picture of where you are. That's really what teams do over the course of a battle. They try and shape a proper understanding of the entire fight. You know, it's important to constantly call out your kills, confirm your kills, so your team, you know, you hear very quick call outs around how many are alive, how many are dead, and it's pretty consistent, constant across the course of a fight. Hellfire is now kind of caught out. Luckily they have the LMG. They can kind of dump rounds towards Rushers and Virus. Without much success on that corner, they do rotate off. Both Rushers and Virus doing well to stay tucked in. They don't need to push out. They don't need to get over aggressive. Need to wait for Hellfire to push into that. Virus dodges another volley. And Hellfire can't get away. Rushers dumps rounds through the bushes. And Peacekeepers have taken 3 in a row. Shout out to everyone that is tuning in and hanging out here today. Really do appreciate you stopping by. See some new faces as well. Skate PK. Skate B or Skate 8? Skate 8? Skate 8? I don't know. Thank you for tuning in and hanging out. I also see Frontaled Veteran 420. Eve James. I'm sorry, the blue really took me a while to figure that out. Dob Music. Appreciate you all dropping in. Path of Fire. Who else is in here? That is VRML admin. As usual. Unhappy Camper. 10 VR. Thank you for stopping by. Appreciate everybody for hanging out here. If you are new, hit that follow button. We do regular VRML broadcasts right here on this channel and also over on twitch.tv/VRMasterLeague. And if you're interested in the VRML, you should see links to our website, vrml.com, but also to the Discord where you can find teams that are actively recruiting. You can join what is called the reservists, where if a team does need a player for a league match, they can ping the reservists pool, and depending on your success in your and your ability to reserve, you will be able to substitute for certain ranked teams, certain skilled teams. So you're kind of put into
Where they can like push out.
an even playing field, even if you are just going to substitute
No,
into
this is
matches.
That's why I brought this one.
But there's also obviously plenty of new teams recruiting this season. We've seen a ton of new squads join just over the holidays. You can join the league at any time, so I recommend checking it out. But we got action to tune into ahead of us. This is the best of the best duking it out. Top teams in the VRML, both squads in the top 10 in the world in the worldwide ladder.
Where I'm at.
An early kill here for
54 down
PK
one
as rushers
center.
kick things
Second
off.
push.
Shots up from the front carport through the window. Other than that, Ember taking a relatively passive defense. No one really investing in that two-story. Everyone waiting for PK to... they're really kind of giving PK control of this middle house, which is a little bit risky. You can do a lot of damage up from these two-story windows. You can see Rusher is a bit concerned about the potential threat there of a peek out that two-story window, as it does shut down a lot of opposition on this side, but no one's there, and it is going to be PK, really allowed to push up. Relatively uncontested.
Top left spawn house.
It's going to come down to how they push out and cross Neil, Hale, and Switch, who are pushed out across the street. Hailfire spotted through the crack there. Putting out some suppressive rounds, and a great peek up. Rushers catches one. Virus gets rid of Switch in the carport. Destroyer finds Hailfire. PK
Actually, 42.
are in a 4v2.
Mid-clear.
Smoke's coming into objective. And Neil able to shut down.
Hey, Bravo 3.
Both trying to push up towards objective.
Second floor center.
A great pop-up. Neil catches the head. Oh, an on-point smoke. And the one in front is really going to shut down the defensive power of that corner angle. The trouble, of course, is Milkman's sort of off meta position for this objective as they wait for this cross. I doubt Virus checks this patio at all as they push up here. And they try. The bullets just whiz past Milkman's head. Ember take the round. And we trade down Volk to get ourselves to a 3-3 round number 1. Map number 1, excuse me. Quite the pace we have here. You know, 6-minute round timers, but we're only utilizing half of the round in most cases. I think we've come down to 2 minutes left on that clock, but only 3 used there. And it's sort of it is the pace of these teams. It's why I think we're headed to Arctic for map number 2. And with how these guys are playing, Arctic could be very exciting. I'm sure we'll see some interesting smoke and synchronized pushes from PK if that is their map pick. And I'm interested to see how Ember play it, because I don't think they've chosen it yet in Season 12. It's only been in the map pool for a few weeks, but that's how the map pool works. We have a rotating map pool, so over the course of every 5 weeks, the available maps to pick from changes. We introduce new custom maps made by the community, as well as a select map, pool of maps from the existing DPI created maps. We limit the overall selection, and so the variety is something I've loved to see introduced. We did it starting in season 11, and it's been a lot of fun. I really do like seeing new maps get thrown into this throughout the course of a season. Arctic could be one that PK find themselves an advantage on, because right now they are even Steven with Ember. We go into round number 7 on map 1.
He was kind of out in lane 1, might push across.
I think that's going to throw off Ember is the aggressive push up from Squirfy and
53.
Virus.
Yep, 53.
Squirfy able to catch one.
Who got the first pick?
And an
I don't
interesting...
know.
Should be 54 then.
I thought they said it. Okay. 54, my bad.
Yeah, I was going to say, accurate comms are important too. If you have inaccurate comms, it can completely throw off your anticipation of the enemy's force, obviously. And for a second there, they were thinking that there might only be 3, but there's certainly 4 alive here on this side.
Lane 1 bush, lane 1
Switch
bush.
dumping rounds over the top
Hey,
of
Vi, here.
Virus.
What's this?
Ah, fuck.
Squirfy
Flash, but
tries
good
to
experience,
throw
but
the
I have two
flash to
flashes.
Virus, but it goes over
bullshit.
Virus's
Yeah,
head.
lane 1.
A bit of a holding pattern here. 4v3. Ember don't want to let go anymore early in this round, and they know that there's 1 or 2 on this side. Flash comes up and over from Virus to Milkman, but a quick peek there results in a trade down the long lane. Switch and Virus both going down. Leaves Squirfy alone on this side. Hailfire on this rotation could catch Squirfy out. Oh, off those shots, Squirfy is aware. They're kind of caught in between a bit of a two-sided push. That flash, I think, actually catches Milkman out. And Squirfy is able to rotate, finds 1. Can't get more than that, though. Milkman able to get that kill down. Into a 2v3 for our round 7 here. Seeing a few more folks tuning in here for the action-packed map number 1 of Ember and PK. We appreciate you stopping by. Hit that follow button because you get high-octane action like this. Milkman finding a nice shot over the top there. Turns it into a 2v2. Diesel and Rushers left alone to defend the red car objective. They have to watch both sides, west and east, as there could be a push from either. They don't really know because they don't have any more forward eyes. It's all down to holding these corners, and even Rushers has to watch several different angles from this position. Milkman could pop down the lane that the Rushers is holding now, but Hailfire could also cross the street, get behind Rushers. There's just a lot of potential threats, a lot of angles that 2 people have to cover. Stealth oftentimes is a better route as well, and if Hailfire continues to kind of be loud, Rushers will be able to catch them out. Almost does there. His shots come through. Milkman quickly rotating, though, and right where Rushers was holding, they go down. A nice teamwork effort there from the Ember duo. And now PK have their map 1
He's not confirmed.
relying on the shoulders of Diesel. Diesel definitely hearing these footsteps from Milkman on the other side. Minute 15 left on the clock, so not a lot of time for them to work with. They have to start kind of going forward with their push. Hellfire is going to try and cross, and there's an interesting line that Diesel's trying to hold here as they peek through the shrubs. They're not going to see Hellfire on that deep cross, especially with the smoke. And so Diesel is going to have an additional threat present. Milkman drawing a lot of attention, but this is where Hailfire is going to swing. Catch Diesel out. A great job from the duo. Milkman literally just an audio distraction, almost as if they had an idea that one could be there. And if Hailfire didn't spot anybody, that was going to be the cue for them to work up as a duo. But what a great job on the attack there from both of those. I think it was Hailfire and I can't remember. But Milkman, 12-4 off of map number 1. Impressive to say the least. And Ember take their map pick just barely with map number 1 going their way. Question mark now of where we go for map 2. It looms over the head, and I think my prediction is Arctic. I will not be accurate in that prediction, though, and PK will be taking us to somewhere a bit more familiar. Bazaar for map number 2. Not a terrible surprise, you know, sifting through the stats. Bazaar, one of their most played maps, but they don't have like a terribly great win rate on it. Only 4-2 with a 45% rounds win. You know, in comparison to something like Arctic, where they have 62, or even Cargo is 67. I don't think actually Cargo's in the map pool though, but Arctic's there, and so is Tanker, but they've just played it less. So maybe just going with a place of comfort, a map that they know more. But either way, map 2 is going to be on Bazaar. Bazaar, for those not in the know, a bit of a close quarters map in itself. It does have its long range lanes, but mostly a pretty tight fighting space, working your way through the city's alleyways and corridors, the 2-story buildings for cover and a variety of angles. It's a very good map, a very fun one to play. It has certain points where you can, certain pieces of penetrable cover, and it really is a map that I suppose is up there for me in terms of how much I like it with Quarantine. Especially on a competitive side, the objectives really do kind of switch in favor of Marsoc or Volk, in my opinion at least. I feel like for our first objective here, over in the west, it leans more towards Volk. Very rarely is Marsoc able to work themselves up to this corner and capture the objective. And so Ember are starting things off, have an opportunity to kick it off with a nice lead, a good defensive hold, but we'll have to see. Peacekeepers obviously picking this map for a reason. They've got some strategies they want to throw out there, and already we are seeing a pretty heavy push. Rushers in particular catching out Switch. The trio rotating in over on this side. We're going to stay focused over on this west effort, especially as suppressive fire comes in. Rushers can find another kill. And in the chaos of these smokes, they are able to cross. PK have doused this objective with smoke grenades, denying vision on a lot of this defense. Rob not able to cross or catch out that cross. Neil not able to spot Virus peeking in from blue room. But as soon as that smoke goes away, the option opens up for Neil, and now cover kind of dissipating. I have to go on board Hailfire as they are playing the patient game. They know there's more than one here. I think they've spotted Squirfy cross. Matter of if Destroyer is going to quick peek in the corner here. There's Destroyer. And Squirfy might not even really be aware that that kill just happened. They don't seem to be tuned into that. Hellfire makes the call, and as they do, then Squirfy swings. Only 2 left for Ember. Not a good defensive rollout, but a great Marsoc play puts Peacekeepers in a position where they could push into objective. The only thing is I don't think they have any utility left. So I don't think there's going to be any additional cover or smoke for any of these movements for the remainder of Peacekeepers.
Eek, they're coming in behind you. Heads up.
Oh, and Rob able to ID rushers, cross in behind, but Shrieking Geek, aka Neil Breen, goes down. Rob has to swing out to defend. Peacekeepers take an objective that I very rarely see taken by Marsoc. A great rollout for them to kick off their map pick. Only thing better would have been a cap, but a Marsoc win on an objective that I, again, feel weighs into the favor of Volk is a great way to kick this off. And, you know, the trouble is that Ember, rolling off of a 4-3 win, got a little bit over-aggressive on their defense, extending very far out from the objective space, trying to sort of seemingly flank and encircle the defense. They were crossing some very deep angles here in the south, and they lost 2 right away in their effort to get aggressive on that south side, and that just set up everything for Peacekeepers. Only 1 kill secured for Ember as well. Hellfire coming out with that solo shot onto Destroyer, but otherwise PK, nearly a flawless Marsoc round nonetheless. Impressive. Impressive. And man, the pacing really continues here. 3:49 left there, so only about a minute and a half of game played. And they didn't have the fast spawn. I mean, actually, no, they did have the fast. They did have the fast spawn to be able to cross. What is the fast spawn really on this objective? Anyway, round 2 kicks off. Ember on the attack.
Whoa, yeah.
See if they can answer back with a Marsoc round of their own, or if PK are going to kick off this thing with a 2-0 lead, just like we saw Ember do on map number 1. Be rotating in on that far north wall. They will eventually be crossing the street. Meanwhile, a couple watching for any early aggression similar to what they demonstrated, but obviously Peacekeepers playing this a little bit tighter. Shots fired there by Rob, and Milkman still on the hunt up over the top. But the PK defense, a little bit different on their setup. They have rushers actually in this deep corner, holding a right-handed angle, waiting for that peek on the corner for switch to cross. And they really do have decent lines. And as I say, that switch is able to catch the shoulders of rushers.
I'm down. Not sure from where the...
Are Resible.
Sandbag's
Squirt be able
dead,
to
Sandbag's
fly
dead.
the corner
What is
and
that,
get
54?
one over in that north side.
54
There's
D1.
the confirm from Switch, and so Ember are into a 4v4. Diesel is going to drop and try and rotate back over to this side to still maintain this angle. It's a little bit away from the objective, but they do have Destroyers still there. As I say that, Destroyer goes down. Milkman catches the corner shot. Diesel trying to catch Switch up from their center angle. They cannot find
Just a 3.
purchase with their bullets, and Diesel is really now kind of stuck defending against several Marsoc who are probably thirsty for a cap. Oh no, we had a disconnect in the south. So they also lose their south control. PK are down to just 2. Diesel and Squirfy. It's going to be important for them to both be aware of who is left alive. albeit they are in pretty vital
33.
positions to defend. Squirfy able to shut down one.
Smoke's coming in from Main Street.
Diesel able to get another.
2.
Milkman nearly going down as Diesel does catch them trapped behind the concrete. Oh, a great peek up over the top. Squirfy trying to crash back as smokes are thick on the objective, and Milkman could tablet out here. Out it comes. Squirfy flies in with the suppressive shots. They catch out one. And just like
51,
that, we're
30,
into a
21.
1v1. Squirfy checks tablet, realizes they are all
the teammate.
alone, and Neil nearly catches Squirfy on the cross. On the hunt for Squirfy in the back corner, has 2 minutes and 20 left, so a lot of time to work with, and still has some utility. Thing rotation here, puts Squirfy on objective. Gonna make it very hard to effectively push up and cap, and that is all Squirfy really needs to do. While I continue to rotate, Neil almost
Don't do that,
catches
you're scaring
them.
me.
And Squirfy is just playing defense, waiting for Neil to eventually push up to the objective, because that is the end goal here for Neil. With a minute 30 left, they have to try and either eliminate Squirfy or push into that objective and get the cap. And Squirfy is ready and waiting from this side. A flash comes up and over. No, a nade. And right now, Neil doesn't seem to be aware that Squirfy's tucked in. 1 minute left. Squirfy just waiting. Neil has to clear so much as they work up here, and they are not going to be checking behind them. Squirfy should have this line onto Neil. Peek out, and they catch the kill. PK, despite a disconnect, take round number 2. A familiar scoreline to map number 1, albeit it was switched in favor of Ember as they started on their map pick up 2-0. We nearly saw a comeback from PK as they went 3 scoreless, but it ultimately did come down to a round 7. So that objective is done. And like I said, in my opinion, these objectives do have, they do favor sides. So our next objective definitely favoring the Volk. A tough objective to push into. You have to get control of several different street crossings, and there's just so many potential corners and cracks and different floors that the defense can be on. Good smokes inside the objective courtyard can obviously set up for a potential smoke cap, but those are also kind of hard to place. Can't really get over the house. I suppose you could toss over the house if you really practiced it, but they're not easy smokes to land. And that objective, in my opinion, a tough one to attack. So Ember could bounce back, put one on the board here. At the very least, stop the bleeding. At this stage, last map, we saw Peacekeepers put up a flawless defensive round and completely deny Ember any kills. And so we'll see if Ember can do the same. Completely deny any kills. And oh my goodness, Switch nearly goes down out of spawn as we do see a heavy suppressive firing right up through the center. Switch heals. They'll be one shot away from death and unresable going into the rest of this round. Everybody now into their positions. For those that are curious what the heck's happening, there's a piece of wood
One in souvenir.
that covers a gap here. All the way essentially
north of
to the other
objective.
side of the map.
No,
And
can't prove it.
you can shoot down that spawn lane. Peacekeepers looking for another fast push, but the aggression gets shut down by Neil on the edge. Bit of a deep angle. Smokes dissipate. Switch nearly catches one. Rusher is looking on that angle, and Switch really just kind of playing around here in this courtyard.
Whole thing.
Meanwhile, a pair working their way in from that south wall.
One's in
They'll
building
have to
south
work
of
up
souvenir.
against Rob.
One in building south of souvenir.
Able to get one. Switch goes down on
I got both
objective
of them.
defense.
Souvenir and south.
Not
One more
in
south.
a good spot. Neil Breen able to shut down Squirfy. Rusher's still here on the second story doing work. Down they go. Finally picked off as Milkman
Another
finds
down.
that kill. Another went down on the south while that happened, and Virus is left alone on their efforts to push up. But they are pushing up. Inside the objective courtyard. But just playing it quietly, trying to figure out where this defense is at. Not able to see Neil right until they peek out the corner. Rob continues to push. They go down a quick double for Virus. They're looking for 3. Can PK go up 3-0? Milkman alone in the defense now. .320 left on the clock as well, and so Virus has all the time in the world to work with. A little pillaging there to find any resources, but not much available, and Virus continues to work their way to the other side now. Bit of rotation, trying to catch a different angle towards this defense. Milkman has dropped pretty far away from the objective, so they may be feeling a bit uncomfortable here. Oh, and they did catch Virus on the cross. A big hold there from Milkman to keep Ember alive, and again, kind of stem the bleeding, albeit a close round. Ember does defend. Quick denial of the shutout there. Pretty dang important. Those that don't know, it is a best-of-3 series, but we always play the third map out, and the amount of rounds won matters. So at the end of the day, if Peacekeepers win this map, we then move on to map 3, and that's the series decider. But if Ember win this map, we still play out map number 3, because the total amount of rounds won determines how much Ember will go up for winning and how much Peacekeepers will go down, theoretically, if Ember were to win. I'm not making that prediction right now because this has been quite the back and forth, and Peacekeepers are looking very good on Bazaar. I anticipate this defensive round to be pretty solid from them, and we're going to have to put out something nice on the attack front here, find some early picks or something to set themselves up, because PK have been playing good Bazaar so far. To even, like I said, take this objective that I feel favors Volk and bring it down to that 1v1 is impressive. So who knows where we go, but we will go there for map number 3 regardless of the outcome here, so don't go too far. It'd be worth thinking that the series could be over after this. I think we're headed for a map 3 decider, but that's TBD as we get back into the action for round number 4.
Yeah, no, I think it was like right after you dropped.
Very different spawn for the likes of Ember as they pop in over on the north side, and Scorpy catch out switch
54.
early. Diesel finding
53, one
Hailfire
down north.
trying to cross. Ross now aware of the tight angle. Diesel shuts that down.
52,
Couple of
one down
big
blue
kills
room,
here.
north.
Ember not having the rollout that they needed, and like
Is
I
that B1?
predicted, PK putting up a solid hold here. Neil maybe next on Diesel's hit list, as they seem to be thinking about peeking for this kill. Not ideal. They go down, and Milkman is alone in a 1v5. Not a single kill yet. All of PK alive and well.
Yo, who's watching this?
I think we have a little bug here too, where we're hearing radio comms from Peacekeepers. For those that may be confused. 420 left, though, for Milkman to work it up here. And I think Diesel peaked. I don't know if they saw Milk down in that center pavilion. And again, just a bit of a hush as Milkman looks for anything, trying to find any peaks. Peacekeepers are playing this pretty disciplined, though, and even as I say that, Rushers does swing and look for the kill, and Milkman is able to find it, utilizing that 3/4 coverage, making it very hard for those shots to connect. Not really afraid to give away their position, and really just kind of almost waiting for this defense to challenge them. Interesting approach. One that couldn't be countered, obviously, with a flank, but Peacekeepers not feeling that it's necessary to even really push up, and they don't need to either. 3 minutes left. Milkman will eventually have to cross this street and work in towards this defense that is waiting for them. So, not going to be an easy effort here, and I think Milkman aware that they do have to try and move up. Orphe misses the cross. Milkman going crazy down that street, but they get caught out as Diesel peaks. PK take another. Going up 3-1 here on map 2. We are certainly en route to a map 3 decider. I see even more faces dropping into chat. I do appreciate you all stopping by and hanging out here this afternoon, this evening, this fine night with myself and the fine teams of Peacekeepers and Ember. We got Kevin, Big, Too Old to Game. Appreciate you stopping by and hanging out. Familiar faces for sure, but some new. Although Nardu just doing a little bit of a rebrand. Anyway, I do appreciate you all stopping in and hanging out. If you haven't already, hit that follow button. I'm sure most of you have, if you are VRML connoisseurs. Enjoyers of the fine arts of Onward, which we are certainly getting on display here today. Peacekeepers putting on a great performance in this map number 2 here.
I'm like still going with you.
We go to Kayat for our what could be final objective. I put round 5, but it's only round... Oh, it is round 5. Wow. I subconsciously did the math. We've really peaked.
Well, crossing. One in the alley and he's courtyard.
Free fire coming in there. A little bit of a 1
54.
for 1. Neil catches one over on the east. Rushers catching one up through the center. It's actually kind of scary, their defensive setup here, because Ember only really have 2 on objective. It's a bit of a light
I'm flash. Double flash on me.
defensive setup. Virus fully blind. Rob shutting down any coordinated aggression, which has not come through just
I
yet.
haven't seen anything move yet.
If you look at the overhead, you can still see that both Destroyer and what is that, Diesel are still working their way in here, but they will be running into Neil soon. As the smoke is launched, Neil actually drops back. You gotta keep the attention split because the push could come in through the center. No, it's gonna come in from both sides.
East court seems clear.
Oh, a great swing out from Neil, shutting down Destroyer. Meanwhile, up through the center,
34.
over the top of smokes, Rushers and Virus trying to find some kills. They down to now just 2 as Switch finds that kill. Hailfire peeks out, and Peacekeepers get picked apart on their assault. What a great opportunity for Ember to set themselves up with. Coyote, this objective that they're attacking is one that historically goes the way of Marsoc. It's a very hard objective to defend. But for Ember to be in a 4v1 scenario and for Hailfire to almost find the kill, now it's 3v1. It is a great way for them to set up for what could be a cap attempt. Caps get you 2 points, and so they could win this 4-3 off the backs of these next 2 rounds. I'm sure that's what's on Ember's mind right now, but Virus has not given up just yet. 3.5 left into a 1v3 scenario. Certainly something that can be, well, at this kind of time, battled back from, so it's all a matter of how and where Virus rotates to. It looks like they're going to go for that far south drop. Really try and minimize their profile here as they cross from the south angle. Utilize the wall for every bit of cover that they can get. And also this back building. And you can see they do get past the coverage there up through the center. So an important element there for them to actually commit to that rotation deep along that south wall. Otherwise, they could have been caught out. I believe Rob had that line right up over the top. And so the rotation sets them up to attack from a completely different angle than this defense is anticipating. Rob actually getting very aggressive, could potentially push themselves out into a spot that Virus could catch out. Maybe they saw the cross, though, because it seems like they are really shifting their attention heavily to this side. Both Neil, Switch, and Rob all now looking over into the south east instead of or southwest instead of the east. Oh, it almost an exchange there. Virus doesn't connect, neither does Neil, and they both drop off. A lot of calculations going on here for Virus as they try and figure out where this trio is. They're going to push in from a tough side. Switch can cover, and oh my, they made it in. This is so dangerous. Up to the second floor they go. They find Switch. They have control of 2-story. They can capture the objective from up here. Rob nearly finds one through the window, and they know they have to push the stairs, and both go down. What? What a play from Virus. The triple, the 1v3 for PK as they come out on top. Put that one in the highlight reel. Virus with a really nicely done play. And there's a lot to digest there. You know, they were throwing out a disrupting cap pattern, trying to interrupt any capping in that second floor. The decision to not push into that second floor and cap because they didn't need it. All they needed was the kills to get themselves the 4-1. Wow. A nice job from the likes of PK. And a solid takeaway on map 2, 4-1. Now, interestingly enough, for map number 3, we do continue to keep things close and head to Arctic. This being Ember's map pick, I find very interesting because Peacekeepers, it's one of their better maps, at least in Season 12. They have played it sparingly, but still, they played it well. And I'm not sure how Ember are going to be playing this one. I don't even, you know, at the stats, I don't even see that they've played Arctic at all this season. Oh no, they have. They have played it almost as much as Peacekeepers. They actually have a few percentages higher on the win rate of rounds 1. A 69% win rate for them on Arctic compared to a 62% win rate from Peacekeepers. So kind of a strength for your strength pick, which can get dangerous. And on a map like Arctic, I mean, this map 3, the series decider, is going to be nuts. Quite a good series to tune in here too this fine Thursday evening. If you have been stopping by and catching it, I mean, you can attest this has been a great game so far. Peacekeepers with some great plays, Ember with some solid holds, a good comeback on map number 1, and well, here we go. Our series decider, round number 1 on Arctic. Ember versus PK. Ember on the attack, PK on defense. A map that is very fast. We've already had a fast pace, so expect things to be quick as we roll out here. Look at the aggression. PK. 1 kill, 2 kill, 3 kill, 4. How many more are there left? PK, I have only 3 left. Virus able to catch 1 on the corner and then continue to potentially push up. Hailfire is here and waiting. And they swing wide. Hailfire goes down. That's 3. Meanwhile, the push coming in from the trio over in towards Diesel's corner. Post switch and Milkman working up towards objective. Milkman nearly getting past Diesel. They do. They find Diesel down. Rob catches another, and in a absolute flash, Milkman and Rob and the 3 from that edge push into the objective and take control. Ember take the lead off of a Marsoc dub and go up 1-0. This is what's going to happen. With Bazaar, there's it favors sides, right? With Arctic, it's just it's chaos. It's a coin toss. It's so hard to determine outcomes on any of these objectives because of how close quarters the maps are. The action just happens in a second most of the time, especially with teams at a higher tier. You really do see very little slow play on Arctic. It is first come, first serve mentality. Get to the positions early, set up right away, and look for these crossings out the gate. And I mean, we saw 2 go down in the first 20 seconds of the round. That's what's going to happen in almost every round here on Arctic. I can't think of very many objectives where things do slow down other than maybe the helipad OBJ, but even then, you commit to a double door push, you can be right on top of the objective in seconds. So exciting. Okay, this is gonna be great gameplay here in the back half of this series. Map number 3. Let's see what we get. Ember on defense, PK on the attack.
Yeah, that looked weird.
We'll have to see if we have any early kills or if we continue to trade Marsoc rounds down. We go into the attack. Rusher's not going to find much here. 4 pushing up through the center. Destroyer catching out Hailfire, trying to get aggressive. And they are near objective with heavy smokes, heavy utility. A team kill, unfortunately. Neil confirming it as well, so we're into 3. alive for Ember. PK set up nicely. I think Rob here blind in the corner. Milkman trying to defend as nades and smokes come out over the top. Diesel flies the corner, and Rob is left alone into a 1v2 as Destroyer has Tablet out, and they are inside the tight corner. Rob hasn't peeked. Milkman just barely checks. That could have been a cap literally right in front of Milkman. Virus gonna rotate around, pick up rushers. We're into a 2v2.
Yeah, just us, just us.
Okay. One's on objective. Suble's objective.
Wonder what the plan is for PK going forward here. They actually have a couple of options. You know, you can assault from their spawn, which certainly could open up angles down onto Rob, or, you know, some alternative routes. But Rob's position really going to be hard to root out. They are in a very important spot to be in. Virus should be aware of it, though, and they do fly quick onto the corner. They have to reload, and that reload allows for Milkman to push out. Looks for anything. Rushers catches the shots over the top. PK take a Marsoc
See,
round
whenever we're
of
alive,
their
we make shit
own.
happen.
And Virus and Rushers clutch it up to keep things tied 1 apiece. Now, this is what I do think is going to happen. I do think that we are going to be trading Marsoc rounds. Maybe a bold statement, especially as we go to an objective that has its back against the wall, but I've seen teams literally sprint up the middle of the map and capture on this OBJ. So I with everything on this map like Arctic, I just don't. I would normally say that this favors Volk, but the last time I did that, it got capped on to win the series for a team that was in the top 10. Oh no, they might have been 12 overall on the ladder. Anyway, Arctic, crazy stuff, and we saw a heavy dose of it there. We're gonna get a lot more for the next few rounds. And again, the pacing, you know, we just keep flying through these rounds. Not really even investing more than 2 to 3 minutes per round. See what we get for round number 3 here as PK defend and Ember salt.
There you go. Why do people think conservatives hate immigrants? Because the Democrats don't?
I don't know. Corner spot, you know what I'm talking about? The like doorway.
Yep.
Attack here
By
from
watch,
Ember
you mean
as they
do not
push
watch.
forward.
Yeah, right. Let's see how that works out. Going there.
And this is the risk. The center push, almost a team kill.
You're good.
And now Switch giving away some positioning information. That's a good nade toss, but not cooked. Switch able to drop off. And Trey, Neil able to get rezzed up. Virus pushing in. Rob able to find that kill inside. They have the option to really push into this objective now. We got to keep the eyes on the OBJ because this is where the effort's coming in from. Diesel is holding. Destroyer pushing in over to the objective side as well. And oh no, a team kill in the chaos. Diesel catching out Destroyer. Squirfy still holding on that other side. But Diesel really the on-point defender. Quite a effort here from Ember. I think they're looking for cap. Diesel is on objective though. They got all of the options available to them as Diesel is surrounded in a 1v5 around the objective space as Rob drops the tablet and finds the kill. Ember do not lose a single one on attack. team kills don't help. Plain and simple, and we saw a few there on Peacekeepers end. Nearly a team kill on Ember's side too, though. So it's going around. But 5 alive on Marsoc for Ember, that is certainly one heck of a way to take round number 3. Yeah, it's what Arctic is. It's just nuts. It's the pacing. You really, the defenses just don't seem very flushed out right now. They don't seem really ready for good plays, really across the board on Arctic. And maybe that's the map. Arctic just is hard to defend. But I've only seen half a dozen good defenses on this map. And I've watched plenty of rounds of Arctic. Let's see if we get one of those defensive rounds here, or if PK will continue to trade us down Marsoc rounds.
That's the number one here.
So that you don't have to watch
I don't have
south.
one.
You're saying?
Got it.
I'm gonna watch south if you're gonna go in that tunnel. Okay.
Alright, you're gonna be on the white crate facing which direction?
Ooh, and this is interesting. A 5-player push on the 1-to-1 side. Switch not going to peek up and over to catch any of this crossing out, but everyone is pushing in from this edge. Man shuts down one, drops back off of the shot. Destroyer is here, suppressing.
One down, 44.
No real option to peek up underneath that hail of bullets.
South push.
One's in dome, one's in dome.
Switch giving away their position, keeping Rob still kind of stealth, but really not necessarily, because this position should be ready.
I traded.
Be there, rushers peeking and checking.
Yeah, brother.
That's a kill, and now it's 3v4.
Green.
A lot of utility coming in here. Flashes, smokes, destroyer.
Smoking.
Able to push out, but not survive. Switch finds that kill. Diesel slowly working their way up through the center. Switch not long for the world. Diesel is finally comes flying in, but we have trades on the back side. We're into a 2v2. Hellfire finding a big pickup on that south side. Oh, and another kill through the crates. Diesel left alone. Neil, seemingly aware that this could be a rotation coming through as well, seems to be trying to check the angles here, and does catch Diesel on the cross, but can't land the shots. Diesel connects, and we're into a 1v1. 4 minutes left, so Diesel can continue to just kind of bounce around and be a threat from all sides. When Hellfire is able to get back and defend right as the cross comes in from Diesel. PK looking to keep this thing even Steven as we get to the critical point of the series where a cap can lock in the series win. PK definitely want that option. A lot of utility here in front of them as well, albeit I don't actually know how much actual utility there is. I just see a lot of ammo available there, but that is not what they need. Flashes, smokes could go a long way. Being brought out just yet. Hailfire so close to being ID'd on that quick peek out. But there they go as they swing. Peacekeepers and Diesel finds the final kill and round number 4. Dare I say we're en route for a round 7. Ooh, we changed objective side. We changed the sides of the map over to the helipad on the west. And one is interesting. I feel the double door entry is probably one of the faster ways to attack this objective. And I would think easier. You only have one exit point, sure, but you can come out and crouch. You have cover right out of the doors. And the trouble of pushing in from the other side, from the south, I suppose, is that you just have all of these lanes and corridors, all of these potential angles that defenders can kind of sneak into. Whereas right here, it's really just kind of a battle around the helipad and then up to objective you go. So there is a serious threat of Ember snagging a cap here and taking this series. And so we'll have to see what PK do on defense, what the attack looks like from Ember. We go back into the action for round number 5.
Also a decent defense, so we should be
Alright.
Defending,
Careful.
don't worry about winning, just worry
Careful
about now.
on south.
About getting the kills right now. Just get them kills, boys.
Remember, there's only 3 entrances to the area. They're all 3 gonna have eyes on. Play it smart.
A lot of positive motivation there from the Ember squad, trying to get sure that they're all, or make sure they're all mentally focused on this round. Bit of a different strategy from PK, who are trying to keep the mood lighthearted with jokes. Those smokes not going to do much other than an audio distraction. They're tossed a bit too far. All of the utility here. Throwing a bit too far. Diesel and Neil do trade though. Fire is still alive and well, and they actually have a great line onto that cross out. Switch doesn't go down. Ducks off of the shots and finds the kill though. Destroyer and Rushers, the only on-objective defenders. They do have Squirfy, but Squirfy's pretty far off. The OBJ is covering the double door entry, which is important. But it doesn't seem like that's where the push is coming from. I wonder if Squirfy is going to either try and challenge or rotate. There are 3 here trying to push in, but just one is able to defend this cross. Destroyer with the LMG really able to put out a heavy dose of suppressive fire, making it hard for Milkman to get across here. We do have a rotation from Squirfy as well to reinforce onto the objective, so we're into a 2v3 now. And, oh, this is a great rotation here. Oh, Hellfire able to catch Destroyer trying to rotate. Not going to be a cap opportunity, very likely to present itself here for Ember. Especially with Squirfy setting up right on the objective. But they do have the opportunity to take the Marsoc round, set themselves up for what could be series point as they take the lead 3-2 on their map pick. A big Marsoc pickup. I feel this objective is one of the few that lends itself to the Volk side, and I'm glad I didn't predict that to be the case, because clearly I was wrong as Ember managed to take that Marsoc W. And they didn't go through the double doors. They decided to commit over onto that side that I think is historically harder to push through. Maybe because there's only one point of entry to get past one defender as a challenge. Squirfy can kind of stay tucked into this corner waiting for anyone to come into this initial room. But corner peaks aren't that hard to win, or at least trade down. So we'll have to see what PK throw out on the attack. Again, they are also just a cap away from taking this series. So gotta wonder what they're thinking about for this approach. They just want to try and find the kills and get themselves to a defensive round. I don't know. Our next objective can be one of 2 places. northeast, or southwest?
Milk has one of the better angles. Like, see right here, you can see if they're in there.
I can see it.
Milk has one of the better
Into the action we go, though, for round number 6.
Call you can make right now.
I'll be doing calls for y'all.
Beautiful.
Ember just a round away from taking this series.
I'll just give you a tap if I have the chance.
They are the underdogs, as they are ranked 9 worldwide to the ranked 7 of Peacekeepers. Ranked 5 in the NA to ranked 3, I believe. Oh, the aggression gonna cost Neil their life.
54.
Almost seemed like they maybe were anticipating that their nade was gonna be a flash. But if it was, I think it would have actually caught out Virus and Rushers. But the aggression
There's definitely one south.
countered pretty well. Which tossing out some flashes onto the corner.
There's one on the other
And
side.
Ember
as well.
just getting a little bit over aggressive on their defensive rotation switch. Lucky they didn't go down on that push up. PK just getting information though, allowing Ember to play aggressive. And interestingly enough, a real shift in their pacing on the attacks. Oh no, Switch can't win that trade. And they have great smokes here from PK. They can work right up through this alleyway undetected, almost right up to objective. Both Milkman and Rob are the last lines of defense. They're the only 2 lines of defense. This is a 5v2, a huge opportunity for a heavy smoke dispersal in a cap attempt. Presents itself. Milkman goes down off the back. Diesel gets picked up, and I wonder if you can cap crouch on the other side, because that could certainly be something that happens here if Rob's not careful. They luckily go down. And it could have been series points, but we live to play another day. Ember losing their defensive round and taking us to a round number 7 on NightFiree, our series decider. It doesn't get much more intense or down to the wire than this. Everything on the line here. And even if Ember wins, even looking at the scoreline right now, it does favor PK significantly. Overall, the points are 8-10. So PK are winning in rounds. And even if Ember take this map and win the series, they will still lose in overall rounds 1. And so the win won't be as significant for Ember because they don't have that many rounds won. They've just managed to take the 2 maps, Suburbia and Arctic. But that hasn't happened yet, obviously. If PK win, then they get actually a pretty nice boost. You know, they are going up against a close ranked opponent in Ember, and like I said, they need this win to put themselves in a comfortable position in that overall ladder in the back half of Season 12. Comfortable is relative, as they will be playing better teams, but still an important win here from PK.
Hey, NightFiree, I bet this is what you wanted, huh? A 3-3 decider, huh? Yeah, we're gonna put on some fireworks here, champ.
Is this what you
Yeah,
want?
is this what you
were gonna
want to see? Yeah.
I am entertained, as I am sure all the fine folk that are tuning in are as well. It has been a good one so far. I'll have to see what aggression on defense does for PK, because Ember are not going to play things too terribly slow. All 5 committing over to this side as Rob kicks things off with an early kill. Right up over the top of cover. Ooh, that airburst nearly catching out Hailfire. Butch and Milkman making it past Rusher's line of sight. for how long, as Switch does drop back.
One confirmed on the dome.
Ooh, and Rushers thinks they have a kill, so that's going to give them an inaccurate kill count. Smokes are out on objective. And a lot of suppressive fire coming in. One shot up the middle, Switch goes down. A quick two-piece leaves Hailfire and Neil alone. Neil can't cross and they go down. PK have 5 alive. And Hailfire finds themselves in a big bind. A tough task ahead of them as they have to fight through this Peacekeepers defense with a lot of time left, but no friends to do it with. Try and reassess, reevaluate the attack. Go for a bit of a longer rotation here, over on towards Squirfy's side. Trouble is, Rushers still has a line on that cross. Actually, no, I don't think they'll see Hellfire if they go for that deep cross there that they're doing now. I think the cars will block Rushers' vision. Through. Hellfire probably heard Squirfy there. With no one holding the hallway, it is the proper choice to take. Still, though, a long road ahead of them. Diesel also covering the angle. They have to go against Squirfy and Diesel, and then the rotations and Fires and Destroyer. Diesel is holding exit, likely to raid if anything. Okay, come out on top. Shots don't connect. Finally, Diesel does peek out. Hailfire goes down. PK take the series. 5 left alive on their defensive round. A heck of a battle here today on a display for all to enjoy. Thank you so much for tuning in. For those that did stop by and were hanging out in Twitch chat, I really do appreciate you. If you are new, hit that follow button. We do regular broadcasts on this channel as well as twitch.tv/VRMasterLeague. We have some exciting matchups scheduled there. 6 p.m. PST Saturday, 12 p.m. PST Sunday. You can also catch those over on Horizon Venues, which is a cool app you can download on your Quest or Quest 2. We also have some games tomorrow and throughout the weekend, so be sure to follow all the channels. Follow here, follow twitch.tv/VRMasterLeague, and catch the action throughout the rest of the week. That's going to be it for me here on the desk, though. A quick shout out to all of our sponsors. For those that don't know, I did talk about it. We do have a $7,000 in cash and hardware prize pool that does come from our active sponsors. Those sponsors are ProTube VR, which makes fantastic mounts that help stabilize your aim in-game. They also have haptic feedback mounts that enhance the immersion in VR. VR Cover, offering fantastic comfort to any VR headset. VRML, obviously contributing into that prize pool. HyperX, providing a production team with fantastic stuff like the HyperX Quadcast S, which is a great RGB mic, as well as fantastic headsets to our champions like the HyperX Cloud 2s. We also have sponsorship coming in from Asterion. They provide fantastic products like stands with charging ports, as well as VR mats, and I think that's it. that'll be it here for us at the desk and for the day. My name's been NightFiree. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will see you all tomorrow, but until next time,